Chuck Todd is NBC's political director and moderator of Meet the Press. Chuck, good morning. This is your time of year, my friend. This is going to be a big night on Tuesday night. 50-50 as it stands right now. Boy, the margins are so slim. Paint a couple of scenarios for us, if you could, about how Democrats could hold on or how Republicans could take control.
You got it. Well, look, 35 seats overall. I'll narrow it down very quickly for you. There's really 13 that we view as competitive, i.e. races decided by single-digit margins here. And I'll show you, we've narrowed it down to sort of these 6, if you will, that are still up for grabs. And if you would do it, I think Wisconsin feels like it's a state that is leaning Republican right now. You put it there. And Nevada feels like a state that is leaning Republican right now. So you quickly get into a situation where you see why Republicans feel pretty bullish. These are the states that they're slightly ahead in right now, and they're already sitting at the magic number of 50. So where do they find one more? Is it New Hampshire? Boy, this is tough. Mitch McConnell pulled out of it. Maybe, maybe not. It feels like they're going to come up a bit short. Is it Arizona? Feels like Mark Kelly's done a good job of holding off the sort of the national Democratic messiness sticking to him. He's still more astronaut than senator. So it really just brings us down to the 2 states you started your program with, Willie, Georgia and Pennsylvania. You know, I think you got to feel good about Fetterman for one reason. I think one reason only. It's that governor's race. I think the fact that the Democrat there, Josh Shapiro, is likely to win by double digits probably makes it mean that there is probably going to be a point or two, just enough that drags Fetterman over, which means, and this is probably the best case scenario for Democrats, which means we're sitting in Georgia in a runoff that will take place after Thanksgiving, and ready for this, the Tuesday after the SEC title game, which is likely to feature the Georgia Bulldogs, by the way, one more time. This, by the way, is the best case scenario. But, you know, Rick Scott thinks they're going to get 52 seats, and you can see it. If the wind blows and just slightly in the right direction, New Hampshire quickly becomes, flips to the Republicans there. I could see Pennsylvania, which would follow a wave, sneaking over there. That would give them one more. Whoops, sorry about that. We're still putting everything down there. And then if you put all that together, you can see how they could get to 52. But ultimately, Willie, Pennsylvania and Georgia, I think, is where we're going to be sitting on most of the night and most of the week.
Chuck, I knew you'd get the dogs in there. Big win over Tennessee yesterday. I know you guys quickly, Chuck, got some new polling in that you're going to roll out on Meet the Press. What jumped out at you 2 days ahead of the midterms here?
Ready for this? We've spent the last 60 days watching all these candidates crisscross their states, presidents crisscross the country. 70% of the public told us they made their decision on who they were going to vote for before Labor Day. Think about all the money that's been spent for basically 30% of the country that has been making up their mind throughout the last 60 days. I think it just shows you how polarized we are. And polarization, the question I have is, I think this is going to be a good Republican night, but does polarization prevent it from being a great Republican night?
Wow, that is a staggering number. 30% will make all the difference on Tuesday. Chuck, thanks so much. We'll look for much more, of course, this morning on Meet the Press, when Chuck is joined by the chair of the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee, Congressman Sean Patrick Maloney, by the way, in a tough race of his own, as well as Senator Rick Scott of Florida. He's the chair of the National Republican Senatorial Committee. NBC's election headquarters, as you can see, are ready for a busy night, perhaps becoming busy days and weeks of bringing you the very latest results. Our coverage begins at 6 p.m. Eastern on NBC News Now, and then join Savannah Lester and the NBC News election team at 8 p.m. Eastern for live results and analysis on NBC.
Hey, thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Find your favorite recipes, celebrity interviews, uplifting stories, shop our favorite deals, and so much more with the Today app. Download it now.